Hi guys, my name is Michelle and welcome to my channel. I make time-lapse videos of how I did my paintings. I haven't been updating for a while as I was working on this 30 inches by 30 inches painting. For this video, I was painting a scene of two dolphins jumping out of the water. This would be the first time I paint dolphins. Also the first time I worked on such a big canvas. You can easily see that the first dolphin I painted here, the shape was not really correct. It's got a rather big waistline. After I turned off the camera and had a good look at it, I had to amend it again. Next, as usual, I blocked in roughly the first layer of colors. I fast forward this part so as not to bore you to death. The first layer on the dolphins was not exactly painted loosely, as in the usual case. There are a lot of shade transitions on the dolphin's body, so I was thinking painting more tightly will make the next layer easier to work on. Also, since the dolphin's body is just different shades of grays, if I paint more loosely, it will probably be just a blob of gray. I didn't like the first blue I mixed for the sky. It was leaning too much towards purple. So I changed the mixture and I really like this shade of blue. Next, I put in the darkest green on the mountain. As things further in the distance will look more blue, I tried to add in some blue to the green, but it ended up being too different with other lighter greens. I would try to change this tone of green in subsequent layers. I realized here I forgot to leave some whites for the water where the dolphins were leaping out from the ocean. Then I put in the second layer of the ocean and I changed it to a darker tone. It looks blue on the video, but actually there's a slight emerald green tint to it. I watched how other YouTube artists use dry brush technique to paint the cloud, so here the blue color was already dried. I then put in a bit of whites and used another soft dry brush to smudge the edges of the cloud. I wasn't very confident, so each time I only added in a thin layer of white. I think in total I did this 3 times. I really like the effects of this method, especially the soft, thin clouds on both sides of the painting. Next, I put in a lighter shade of emerald blue color as the shapes of the waves. The width of the waves needs to be increased gradually as it moves towards the viewer. The mountain was actually the most tricky part of this painting to me. The green I used was very transparent. For the area of thick vegetation, I applied 4 layers of colors in total. For the grassy area, I put in slightly different shades of green so that it doesn't look that uniformed and fake. The second layer of dolphin looks smooth at this point. This was not what I wanted. Too smooth a texture will result in a fake look. Even though a dolphin's skin is of course smooth, but they have scars and cuts on their bodies. I will add in these details in subsequent layer. As the dolphin has smooth skin, so sometimes there will be water reflections on their tummy. Here I laid in some subtle light emerald blue to indicate that. Dolphin's mouth always looks like they are smiling. When I was sketching the dolphin, I paid a lot of attention to the lines on their mouths. It can't be too straight, and it needs to look like they are smiling. Most important part on the dolphin is the heart-like reflection. I have been looking forward to do this part. Without this, the dolphin skin would not have the very smooth feel to it. Next, I laid in a hint of blue to indicate the water flowing down from the top of the dolphin's body. When painting the water flowing below the dolphin's body, some darker blue was needed, as those are in the shadow. Some of the water splashing up also needed some darker blue in order to give it volume. Here I added some darker shade to indicate the shadow of the dolphins. On hindsight, I probably should have made them darker. It didn't seem that obvious as a shadow. And then the painting was finished. I hope you liked this video. Please do like, share and subscribe to my channel. Bye!